Welcome to the XP Group's discussion of CIMA paper P2. Today we're going to spend a few minutes to talk about transfer pricing. This is in the context of measuring a divisional performance. So transfer pricing would refer to the terms at which two units within the same company will buy and sell from each other, and what the appropriate price should be at which they are going to trade goods. Let us just think in terms of what the principles should be. Let's say we have a division A selling to division B. So A wants to extract the highest price, B wants to pay the lowest price. A presumably may have external third parties to which it can sell, and therefore there's a choice that needs to be made. And B presumably has some way of being able to supply itself from outside and not have to be forced to buy from A. So we can sort of set boundaries to what a reasonable price should be. And the ultimate test of a successful transfer pricing system will be whether A and B actually do the deal in such a way that the overall interests of the corporation are met, are advanced. In other words, we want to make sure that there is no dysfunctionality in the behavior of either A or B from the perspective of the corporation's overall interests. So it's a very, very interesting area of study, and it does require some deeper consideration of what should be the system for transfer pricing at a company. Should it be simply the market price of the item which is being transferred? And if so, is there a market price that's discernible, or is it an intermediate product that doesn't have a tradable price that can be observed objectively in the market? Could we think in terms of cost of production of the item, and therefore use that as the basis of the transfer price determination? Maybe outlay cost plus a notional markup or some sort of profit margin to be given to the supplying division. We have to think in terms of what the drawbacks can be in such systems. The receiving division, if it accepts the system of outlay cost plus notional markup, may be concerned about what level of costs are being incurred by the supplying division. If the supplying division can pass on its costs to the receiving division, then there is a possibility, I'm not saying it's a certainty, but there is a possibility that the supplying division will not be so careful about keeping its costs under control because it knows that they will be covered by the receiving division. Or we could have a production cost, meaning full absorption cost, including overheads and everything involved in determining the production cost. There could be a negotiation between the divisions. So we say, okay, any price that they agree is okay. We will not impose any kind of system. But the drawback of a negotiation between divisions is that they decide not to deal with each other, and therefore one or the other party ends up dealing with an outside or external third party, and the result may actually be adverse to the best interests of the company as a whole. Also, negotiations may be time-consuming, and therefore the company may waste resources and time in trying to negotiate the appropriate price. So the remainder of the discussion here is really an attempt to bring to light some of the typical problems that can occur if a transfer pricing system is not designed intelligently to take into account the natural instincts of division managers to act in the best interests of their own units. We're not thinking necessarily or only in terms of personal interest of the divisional manager, but the interest that he has for the welfare of his employees and his division's interest. We need also to keep in mind that there are certain core activities within a company which are carried out on behalf of other parts of the company, and therefore the prices of their services, let's say treasury or legal department, needs to be split up in a way which is also appropriate and correct from the standpoint of the company's overall interests. So there is a notion of fairness which has to operate here, but there also has to be a test of economic rationality. There are numerical examples available in the presented in classroom discussion which illustrate this various phenomena in a very tangible way. Thank you.